Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. Shalom. First and foremost, all praises go unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakah Kadash. And what I have here today is I have this video of Martin Luther King 11 months before his assassination took place. And what he was speaking on, what he was being interviewed about, was his, basically that he integrated our people into a burning house. All right, that the dream of being fully integrated into American Edomite society, of being equal, that dream was superficial, because to this point, before he died, it had been over 10 years that the civil rights movement had been going on. And the conditions that he saw within the black community, or should I say the so-called black community, was actually worse than it had been before integration. All right. And basically what, Martin Luther King realized towards the end of his life is that, as it said in Micah 2:10, that this is not our rest. All right. This is not the time for our people to be at peace, to be prosperous, to be at rest. Why is that? Because we are in the lands of our enemies. We are serving our enemies as a judgment, as a punishment from the Heavenly Father for being disobedient to his laws, statutes, and commandments. All right, and this is what our people back then did not understand, because they were blinded by Christianity. All right, they were blinded by the wine, by the philosophies of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, they believed back then that the system was broken. All right, that there was a fundamental problem within the very fabric of American society, from the way it was run to the way that it treated and dealt with our people treacherously. And indeed, there is a problem with American society, but the system is not broken. The system is working exactly as it was intended to work. You see, this system was put in place to further oppress and destroy the Israelites. And this has been Esau's main objective since the womb. All right, this has been his main objective since he was Cain, man. All right. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I'm not sure if it'll get hit for copyright, but all of this goes into the curses. Okay, all this goes into the curses pursuing to the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. All right, all this goes back to the curses that the Lord has put upon us for a sign and a wonder that we are his people, and also that we need to get right and come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, so that these curses can get up off of us, man. All right, so without further ado, just gonna check this video out, short portion of this video, and break it down with the scriptures. So let's go.
Education, a reality in our schools. It's much easier to integrate even a public park than it is to get rid of slums. And I think we are in a new era, a new phase of the struggle, where we have moved from a struggle for decency, which characterized our struggle for 10 or 12 years, to a struggle for genuine equality. And this is where we're getting the resistance, because there was never any intention to go this far. People were reacting to Bull Connor.
And see, you will never fully be equal in Esau society. You will never be equal with the so-called white man. Why is that? Because this is his time. This is his kingdom of rulership. And it was never Esau's intention for Jake to rise up and be equal with him, much less overtake him in his own kingdom. All right, this is why even after slavery, well, let's start with slavery. Okay, this is why in slavery, okay, Jake was forbidden to learn how to read and write. All right, you was in perpetual bondage, and you had no rights. All right, you was less. Jake was treated less than an animal during slavery, man. All right, but you was, what I'm saying, Jake couldn't even read and write, and if you was caught doing so, the punishment would have been very severe. Okay, you could have even been put to death if they caught you, reading and writing. Okay, so it was never intended for Jake to be equal in Esau's society. And once again, why is that? Because this is the land of your enemies. This is the land of our enemies, man. All right, you can't have peace compassed about your enemies. All right, we have been given into their hands because we disobeyed the commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So now our enemies rule over us. You see? And this is what still to this day our people do not understand. That we cannot save ourselves out of this situation that we've been put in, that we've put ourselves in by being disobedient children. We can't save ourselves out of this situation. And this is why we need Yahweh Shai. Okay, this is why we need our Savior to come and get us, to Salakia, to come and get us up out of this hellhole, man. All right, because, hey, living here is complete hell. All right, since we've been in this land, we have known no rest. All right, we have known no rest, man. All right, and we not gonna know rest until Yahweh Shai and the angels come with them chariots and deliver us up out of here.
And to Jim Clark, rather than acting in good faith for the realization of genuine equality.
Do you think white people in this country, and I'm talking about non-segregationists, people devoid or thinking they're devoid of racism, do you have any idea of what they want the Negro to be in America?
Well, it depends on the level that we are talking here, because I think you have to make a distinction between the people who are genuinely and absolutely committed in the white community on the question of racial equality. And I must confess that I think they're in a very small minority. I think the vast majority of white Americans will go but so far. It's a kind of installment plan for equality, and they are always looking for an excuse.
And that's spiritual that he said that, because it is like an installment plan to get justice, to get rights. Because Esau's mindset is basically that, you know, he wants to give you rights when he wants to give it to you. You see? Because how long have we been in America? We've been in America for over 400 years, man. All right, and we've never fully been able to say that we good. It's not one time that you can point to in American history where the so-called, you know, black man or so-called Hispanics, Native Americans can say that it was all good. Okay, that we can kick our feet up, lay back, and enjoy our lives. No, man. We've always been in a perpetual state of terror, all right, over under our enemies. And let me go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, because like I said, all of this goes back to the curses. All right, so this is Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. I'm going to start at the 15th verse. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep. All right, so the Lord is basically laying out curses upon his people, man. Okay, now this is what would happen if we did not, you know, keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, because upon, coming out of the land of Egypt, all right, the Lord made a covenant with our people upon Mount Sinai, where he gave Moses the commandments. All right, and we basically entered into a covenant, which means that we entered into a contractual agreement with the Most High, that he would be our power and that we would be his people, and that we would agree to keep the commandments, all right, as we were instructed. You see? But what happened? Israel kept going off. Okay, we kept following after other gods. We kept wanting to worship false idols. Okay, we kept transgressing the commandments, sinning. All right, so because of that, because we did not keep our end of the contractual agreement, the Most High brought the curses upon us. All right, and being in the land of our captivities under our enemies, okay, mainly Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, we have known no rest in this land. Okay, all we have known is, sorrow, depression, despair, uncertainty, and complete hell. All right, that's all that we've known in this land. Like I said, there's never been a time in this land where, the so-called Negro could, you know, lay his hands on his head, drink a beer, and just say, you know what, I don't have to worry about Esau coming and, hanging me by a tree, or I don't have to worry about Esau, trying to frame me, or, put me in jail for, for some crime that I didn't commit, or, falsely accusing me, getting me killed, man. We live in a constant state, in a perpetual state of fear. All right, this is what the Most High has brought upon us. All right, continuing on, I'm gonna continue. What was that? The 19th verse. All right, cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall send upon thee curse and vexation and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. So see, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai gave us his commandments, and bottom line, we didn't keep them. So because of our disobedience, because of, us being wicked, all right, because of our wickedness, these things come upon us, man. We've been given over into the hands of thy enemies. All right. Now, of course, it goes into, various, plagues, pestilences, okay, what I'm saying, all kind of disease and mental illness that's up in the, so-called, Israelite communities, man. Okay, this is why we on the bottom, because we've been cursed from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for refusing to keep his commandments, man. All right. Now, let me go down to where the Botch of Egypt. All right. All right, 29th verse, and thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness. All right, so when you see Jakes out there in the hood, on the corner, literally groping around at noonday, not doing nothing, sipping on a 40, taking, drinking some Hennessy, smoking a blunt, smoking a black and mild, man, groping around at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness. All right, Jake is in complete darkness, man. All right, you have no idea that you are the kings and princes of the earth, man. Okay, that you are of a royal priesthood. You have no idea. Jake is completely destroyed, man. You don't even know your heritage or who you are, and that's why Jake lives the way that they do, because you don't have no knowledge of yourself, man. All right, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore. You see that? And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Okay, so no man, no mortal man is gonna come and save us out of this condition that we in right now. Okay, no mortal man, whether it be the Black Panthers, or the Black Liberation Party, or Barack Obama. Okay, no man, Joe Biden, Trump, no man is gonna save us out of this condition, man. All right, because this is a punishment from the Heavenly Father, because we transgressed the commandments. All right, this is why it's important to come back, all right, and to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, because this is what made us a reproach unto the Lord in the first place, because we messed up. You see? And reading on, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Now, when did that happen? All right, it happened during slavery. All right, Jake, had his wife. All right, and what happened? Okay, Esau. Okay, the slave master come in and he would just take Jake's wife, man. He would just lay with her and do as he pleased. And guess what? Jake had no power to do anything about it. All right. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Okay? When Jake, was on the plantation, in the time of slavery, when you would build the big house, when you would build up the whole plantation, man. But you was living in a mud shack. All right, you was living in a shack with dirt floors, man. All right, you wasn't living in a big house. All right. Thou shalt plant a vineyard and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. All right. Jake was a slave, man. Yo, we were slaves. All right, we was the one doing all the work, tilling the land, planting the vineyards, planting the vegetables, planting the fruits. And who would reap the benefits of all of that, man? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, and shall not gather the grapes thereof. Okay, so we did not enjoy the fruits of our labor, man. All right, we wasn't paid for all them years of hardcore bondage. You know what I'm saying? All of the spoils of the fruits of our labor went unto Esau, went unto the so-called white man. All right. Verse 32, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. All right. Back in slavery days, Esau was separating families. All right. Esau was separating families, man. You would have your sons, you would have your daughters, and when it was time that the slave master decided that it was time for these slaves to be sold at auction. All right, there was nothing that you could do about it. There was nothing that you could do but what? Look with look with thine eyes all the day long and long for them, man, because you knew that you would never see them again. All right, you know what I'm saying? We already knew that when our kids was being sold off that we would never see them again, man. And what? There shall be no might in thine hand. You ain't have no power to stop it. You ain't have no power to do nothing about it, man. These are the signs of who the Israelites are in the earth today. Okay, these things did not happen to the small hats. Okay, these things did not happen to the small hats over there in the land of Israel. They never went through nothing like this, man. You see? So how can they be the people? How is it possible? How is it possible that they can be the people when they control all the resources of the earth? How is it possible that they can be the people when they're not oppressed? They're not being oppressed by anyone. They are the top tier class upon the planet Earth. They run and control everything, man. All right? They run and control everything. So how is it that they can be the people of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai? All right? But let's go ahead. Let me find Salaki. Let me find this particular verse. 45. These verses shall come upon thee. That shall be a sign. All right. So let's go back to the video.
To go, but so far.
Why are they looking for the excuse? What is it about the Negro? I mean, every other group that came as an immigrant somehow, not easily, but somehow got around it. Is it just the fact that Negroes are black?
And the fact that every other nation can come to America and make something of themselves, basically rise out of the ashes and become rich, practically overnight, is because Esau allows them to do that in his system. All right. Esau allows that to do that in his system. Why? Because all these other nations are confederate together against us. All right. All these other nations are in cahoots with each other to, benefit themselves and to put the Negro down. Okay. This is why you have this World Trade Network. Okay. Of the U.S. working with China, working with these Eastern nations, working with the Middle East and all these other nations, man. Why? Because they're all confederate together. Okay, now they may have their disputes because Esau is the damn devil. All right, so they're gonna have problems with the so-called white man, but at the end of the day, they all working together, man, and that's why Esau allows them to come over here, gives them land, gives them, a head start, okay, where they can come, go to the bank, and they can get a loan, no problem. All right, Esau give them a loan, no problem, and they can set up shop where, right in the hood, okay, where Jake is at, all right, and they can get rich, okay. They can make all this money, all right. But here it is, Jake been here, all right. The Israelites have been here for hundreds and hundreds of years, but we don't have nothing, all right. And matter of fact, that's in Deuteronomy as well, that the stranger shall get up very high above thee. Let me find that real quick. The stranger shall get up very high above thee. Come to pass. Let's see. For a sign that shall be destroyed. Oh, here it is, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. You see that? So the stranger, okay, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. Okay, so these other nations, the Moabites, Ishmael, all right, other Edomites, okay, even Hamites that come here from the continent of Africa, okay, they can come here and be good. Okay, Esau set them up in his system. Why is that? Because they're confederate, man. All of them are confederate. All of them are working together to oppress the Israelites. All right? And that's a curse again from the Most High. Okay, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. All right? He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. You see that? So, hey, Esau, we don't lend to Esau. Okay, we don't lend to any of these other nations, man. They lend to us. Why is that? Because that's a curse. Because the Most High has brought us down very low. Okay, He has brought us to the position of the tail and made the other nations the head, man. Okay, mainly Esau, Edom being the head. All right, and the other nations following right behind them. You see, but this is all the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, coming to light, man. And these things will be a sign and a wonder upon the Israelites. All right. And for the longest time, our people never had no answer as to why these things was happening, as to why we were in this condition. All right. But through the Rakah Kadash, all right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, we have woken up to the fact that we are indeed the biblical Israelites, and that we are going through these things as a nation of people. Because why? Because we transgressed the commandments of the Heavenly Father. All right, because we didn't keep up our end of the bargain. So now the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, are upon us instead of the blessings. All right, but let's get back into it.
That's a part of it, and that grows out of something else. You can't thingify anything without depersonalizing that something. If you use something as a means to an end, at that moment you make it a thing and you depersonalize it. The fact is that the Negro was a slave in this country for 244 years. That was a willful thing that was done. The Negro was brought here in chains, treated in very inhuman fashion, and this led to the thingification of the Negro. So he was not looked upon as a person. He was not looked upon as a human being with the same status and worth as other human beings. And the other thing is that human beings cannot continue to do wrong without eventually rationalizing that wrong. So slavery was justified morally, biologically, theoretically, scientifically, everything else. And it seems to me that white America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face. The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma. And that can never be overlooked. So I think these things are absolutely necessary. The other thing is that America freed the slaves in 1863 through the Emancipation Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln, but gave the slaves no land or nothing in reality, and as a matter of fact, to get started on. At the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that there was a willingness to give the white peasants from Europe an economic base.
You see that, and that's what I was saying. Okay, Esau sets up his own people in the other nations. Okay, like he just said, poor European immigrants, poor Edomites from Europe was coming over here, and they was getting land. They ain't even have to fight for it. They was just giving away land for them to come over here and settle and you know what I'm saying, and to build it up. They was, you know what I'm saying. Matter of fact, when they came over here, they was giving these poor Edomites, okay, they was giving them money. You know what I'm saying? They was giving them parcels of money to actually, set up, move out west, and actually set up towns to build up America. All right, this is a fact, and you know what I'm saying. Like y'all can Google this and do your own research on it, but this is a fact that this actually happened. Okay, but meanwhile, okay, while Jake was in slavery, all right, and even after slavery, even to this day, okay, Jake, Jake got to jump through hoops and hurdles just to get a damn loan to open up a small business, man. All right, but here it is. These other nations can come over here and they get set up right away by Esau. You see that? So this thing is systematic. Okay, this like I said, the system is not broken. The system is working exactly as it was intended to work, which is to do what? To keep Jake oppressed, to keep Jake down, man. All right. This is why this system is in place. And the only reason why Esau even puts you into his society is so he can better control you and to better destroy you. All right? Because you look at the condition of our people before integration, we was better off before integration, man. Our families was together, you know, for the most part. Okay, our people had morals, you know what I'm saying? The wealth stayed within our communities. All right, but what happened after, even to this time that Martin Luther King is speaking? What was happening at that time? Okay, our people was on a moral decline. Okay, we we there was no black community in America even to this point that was prosperous and that you could actually brag and boast in like a Black Wall Street or a Rosewood. All right, those things even by this time was a thing of the past. Why? Because with integration, okay, our people thought that white ice was colder. You know what I'm saying? So you flock into to patronize all these white establishments and all these Edomite businesses, man, and you know what I'm saying. You not money is not circulating within the so-called black community, man. All right, everything is going to the Edomites. You're making the Edomites richer while making our people poorer, man. All right, so integration was never about being morally right, or what I'm saying, giving so-called black people a base in America, because yeah, it don't cost Esau nothing to integrate, because he don't have to give you nothing. He's not giving you land. He's not giving you resources. He's not giving you a base in which to found yourself and actually build something. All he's doing is giving you the illusion that you're equal because you can shop in the same stores that white people shop in. You know what I'm saying? You can go watch a movie in the same theater with other Edomites. You know what I'm saying? You can travel and patronize certain Edomite businesses. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? That's not true equality, man. That's just an illusion of equality. That's not doing nothing for you. You know, real wealth is in land, man. Okay, real wealth is in land, and it's always been like that, even since ancient times. Real wealth is of the earth, and if you don't have no claim or no possession within the earth, then you don't have nothing, man. Hence why hence why we are in this position today. Okay, hence why we don't have nothing as a body of people. Okay, now you may have some Jakes that have more than others, but as a whole, the majority of our people are in a very, very low position, man. All right, and like I said, the true wealth is of the earth. Okay, land, animals, precious metals. Okay, why? Because through the land you can build. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, you can actually grow, you can mine, you can build on that land, okay, and you can create generational wealth for you and your family, you see. But through integration, all of that was destroyed because now we are completely dependent on Edomite society to, provide for all our needs. All right, and that's again in Deuteronomy where it says, you shall go to the nations in want of all things. Let me get that real quick. I know it's down. It's down here. Alright, let me go up a little bit. Salakia, just bear with me. Uh, Consumption of fever. Salakia, just bear with me 1 second. Grope at noonday, the sons and daughters. In want. Alright, here it is, verse 48. Salakia, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee. All right, so we would have to go to our enemies in the want of all things. Okay, if you hungry, who do you have to go to? You got to go to your enemies. Okay, even if you're gonna buy and cook your own food, you still have to go to Esau to get the food. You got to go to the supermarket to get the food. If you thirsty, same thing. You know, you got to go to the market to get some water, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be. Okay, in nakedness. If you want clothes, you got to go to Esau. All right. So in want of all things, you're gonna have to go to your enemies and serve them. All right. This is a part of the curses. All right. In dealing with slavery, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Okay. Now those yokes of iron will not be upon our neck forever. All right. There will be a point where the yokes of iron would come off. Now, until what point? Until he have destroyed thee. Okay? So when the so-called white man Esau Edom has destroyed us, then he don't need to have the chain on your neck no more. You know? Because you've already been broken. All right? Case in point, right? Let's say that you got a little puppy dog that you're trying to train, right? And you got a leash on his neck. And what I'm saying, you trying to teach him what to do, teach him to sit, what I'm saying, teach him to, spin and do whatever you want him to do, right? All this time you got him on that leash. Okay, so he knows when he's on the leash that he has to do that. All right, now when you get to the point where you break the dog, where the dog learns exactly what you want him to do when you give a command, you don't have to have that leash upon his neck no more. You can take the leash off. Why? Because the dog has already been broken, man. His mind has already been programmed to be obedient unto you. So you don't have to have that leash upon his neck as a point to, guide and, what I'm saying, show him what to do. All right. So it's the same thing with Jake, man. Okay. Once Esau beat your heritage out of you, okay, once he mentally destroyed you, once he programmed in you that you're nothing, okay, that you're 3/5 of a man, okay, that you're less than a so-called Edomite, all right, that God hates you, okay, that, when he broke you with Christianity, okay, when he gave you a white Messiah, man, all right, he didn't need to have the chain on your neck no more because you was broken, man, all right, you was destroyed. So he took the chains off and he left you to your own devices. All right. And that's why to this day you still got, coons, you got you know what I'm saying, you got Sambos out here, man. All right. That still, no matter what, all right, like that clown Jesse Lee Peterson, man. All right. You still got them type of Negroes out here, man, that no matter what the white man do, they will never see nothing wrong with it. Why? Because they've been destroyed, man. All right. That's why you still got our people out here still, gang banging. All right, still repping sets and all that, man. Why? Because you've been destroyed. You've been mentally destroyed, man. You've been taken away from your heritage, and you've been given a false culture by your enemies. Okay, black culture is not our culture, man. All right, black culture is a dark and twisted culture, man. All right, when you go into that word black, it means dark. Okay, black means void of light, man. Okay, and many of our people, especially if you're not in this truth, you are void of light. Okay, you've been destroyed by Esau Edom. All right, you have allowed Esau's ways and his philosophies to infiltrate and destroy your mind, man. All right, and like I said, it's only from the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai that we've even been able to come back. All right, that we've even been able to come back into this marvelous light and to once again claim our heritage as the biblical Israelites, man. All right, this great awakening is of the Most High. All right, so let me go ahead. We gonna watch a little bit more of this video, and we gonna close it out, man.
And yet it refused to give its black peasants from Africa who came here involuntarily in chains and had worked free for 244 years any kind of economic base. And so emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. It was freedom to the winds and rains of heaven. It was freedom without food to eat or land to cultivate, and therefore it was freedom and famine at the same time. And when white Americans tell the Negro to lift himself by his own bootstraps, they don't look over the legacy of slavery and segregation. I believe we ought to do all we can and seek to lift ourselves by our own bootstraps. But it's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And many Negroes, by the thousands and millions, have been left bootless as a result of all of these years of oppression and as a result of a society that deliberately made his color a stigma and something worthless and degrading.
Apart from wanting to live better, which all of us want to do, to raise one's children in a better way, to be better, does the Negro in America know what he wants to be?
I'm convinced that almost every Negro in this country, other than those who have been so scarred by the system that they've become pathological in the process, and we all have to battle with pathology. Nobody really knows what it means to be a Negro unless one can really experience it. And I know we all have to battle with this constant drain of a feeling of nobodiness. But in spite of this, I think the vast majority of Negroes in this country know that they want to be people, they want to be men. Arouse a conscience during a time of war. I've noticed there are gains over the last 12 years at bargain rate, so to speak. Didn't cost the nation anything. In fact, it helped the economic side of the nation to integrate lunch counters and public accommodations. It didn't cost the nation anything.
And that's what I was saying, that integration was never about you know building up the so-called black man. All right, it was all to help Esau's you know Babylonian system. Basically, all of that was to you know improve Esau's Babylonian system. Okay, by taking the money away from J communities, destroying the J communities, and putting the wealth into the hands of the Edomites. All right. Nothing that Esau does is to benefit you. Okay, everything that this man does is to his own benefit. And our people really need to realize this at this point, because our people still believe in Esau Edom. Okay, our people as a whole still believe in this man. All right. And that's why, our people ran and voted for Joe Biden. All right, because we believe that, the so-called white man, Esau Edom, is somehow going to save us, is somehow going to bring us out of this situation that we in. But no, only Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to save us out of this condition, man. All right. And this is why our people do not understand. Okay, but hey, MLK said, he said that it didn't cost the nation anything to integrate lunch counters. It ain't cost Edomites nothing but a little bit of pride. Okay, but hey, Esau's God is money, man. All right, and he gonna do whatever it take to get to the bag. All right, so if he even got to make some of his own Edomites uncomfortable, all right, then so be it. Because at the end of the day, his bottom line is being met. You see? Let's go ahead and finish this out, man.
To get the right to vote established. Now we are confronting issues that cannot be solved without costing the nation billions of dollars. Now, I think this is where we're getting our greatest resistance. They may put it on many other things, but we can't get rid of slums and poverty without it costing the nation something.
So, hey, at the end of the day, man, Esau hates you Israelites. He don't want you to be set up. He don't want you to prosper. And he sure as hell don't want to be equal with you. Alright? Esau has no desire to be equal with you, man. Alright? This man's main objective since day one has been to destroy you, and to continuously oppress you. Alright? And, as is written in the scriptures, man, Esau is the sword. It doesn't say Esau, but it says the wicked. Okay, which we know, according to the scriptures, is Esau, is the sword of the Most High. Okay, so Salakia, so the Most High uses Esau as a rod of correction unto us when we go off, man. All right. So all right, let me see. All right, so let me go to verse 64, and we're gonna close it out. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Okay, so hey, there's a thing called the diaspora. Okay, where the Israelites taken from the west coast of Africa, and even before that, because when our people fled from the Assyrian captivity, we fled into parts of Africa and different lands. Okay, but mainly from the west coast of Africa. When Esau came and got us, we were scattered unto the four corners of the earth, man. Okay, you can find Israelites in every nation. All right, and that's pursuing to this prophecy here. All right, that the Most High would scatter us among the people from one end of the earth even unto the other. All right. And then it says, and there shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Okay, now when you go into that wood and stone, okay, that wood is talking about Christianity. Okay, because the main symbol of Christianity is the cross. Okay, which is, wood. Okay, which is that wooden cross. All right. And many of our people, even to this day, are still caught up in Christianity, man. All right, so our people do not truly know the Most High in having a relationship with Him through the Scriptures, okay, through the Spirit, through knowledge. All right, as it is written, that our people have a zeal to know the Most High, but not according to knowledge. All right, so we have it in us that we desire to know the Most High, that we desire to worship a power higher than us, but it's misguided. It's not according to knowledge. It's not according to the truth. All right. Then when you go into that stone, What's the second biggest religion behind Christianity upon the earth that our people are into? Islam. Okay, in Islam, okay, we we know that they worship that Kaaba stone. Now let me pull up an image of that Kaaba stone and the crucifix. All right, put Christian Cruise, Salakia. All right, but here it is. All right, let me see. Okay, even gods of wood and stone. Okay, this that wood is talking about, man. Christianity. Okay, the Christian crucifix, man. All right, and let me pull up the copper stone, which is the most sacred relic in all of Islam. Okay, which a lot of our people are involved in Islam as well. Okay, so here it is. That's the Kaaba stone in Mecca. All right, as y'all can see, that's that stone right there. All right, so you know these are the two biggest religions that our people are a part of. Okay, Islam and Christianity, and that's why I say even wood and stone. All right, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. Now, what describes that better? Who does that describe better than our people? Okay, the Israelites. Okay, we are the ones that are going through these curses, man. We are the ones that have a trembling of heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. All right, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee. Okay, a lot of time in the hood, like you hear Jake saying, man, I'm glad I made it to 18, or you know what I'm saying, I'm glad I made it to 21. You know what I'm saying? So Jake don't even have an outlook of life past the age of 18 or 21, man. All right, that's why I say that thy life shall hang in doubt before thee. You don't even know if you're gonna live past a certain age, man, because the life that we live is so treacherous. Like life is so hard for us that we can't even, you know, Jake not even thinking about it, you know what I'm saying, if he gonna make it to 25 or you know 50, much less 50, you know? And thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. So like I just said, man, Jake don't even know if he gonna make it to 18 or 21. If Jake make it to 18 or 21, that's like a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, damn, like you done made it past this, you done lived past that. You know what I'm saying? That's why like that's why it's like in the hood, like yo, if you make it to 30, then you are OG pretty much. If you make it to the age of 30 in the hood, then you's an OG, man. Because like I said, Jay don't even expect to make it past 18 or 21 or 25. You know what I mean? None assurance of thy life, man. Pursuant to that prophecy. In the morning thou shalt say, would Yahweh it were even, and at even thou shalt say, would Yahweh it were morning. Okay, so when it's in the morning, okay, your life gonna be so treacherous that you gonna be like, Yahweh, I just want it to be the nighttime. Then when you know what I'm saying, then when the nighttime comes, it's like, Yahweh, I just want it to be the daytime. Cause it's like, yo, you just going through so much mental torment and mental anguish, man. It's like, you know, you just can't take it. It's just like, yeah, you know, it's just like, Yahweh, just take me out of all of this, man. You know? For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. All right, now when you go into Egypt, okay, that's talking about a spiritual Egypt, because when you go back to the time when we was in ancient Egypt, okay, the Lord is saying, I'm gonna bring you back into Egypt again. Okay, now there's no, historical record of the Israelites ever going back into Egypt again as slaves. Okay, so it's not talking about, physical Egypt. All right, it's not talking about physical Egypt. This is talking about a new spiritual Egypt. Okay, which is the same land that we would be held as slaves in. Okay, that we would be bondmen and bond women in. All right, and even when you go back to when we was in ancient Egypt, our people didn't take ships to get to Egypt. Okay, you can walk to Egypt, because you got to keep in mind back then there was no Suez Canal. Okay, really, what's called the Middle East today is really Northern Africa. Okay, all of that is one continent. Okay, but now you have the Suez Canal, which cuts off Egypt from the Middle East. So now they can kind of say where Africa and the Middle East starts. But back then there was no Suez Canal. You see what I'm saying? So all of that is in the land of Israel, Egypt, Northern Africa. All of that was Northern Africa, man. All right. So the ancient Israelites did not have to take ships to get to Egypt. We just walked over there, because it's not Egypt is not far from the land of Israel, man. All right. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Okay. So we would never see our homeland again, man. And as now you have had certain Israelites that have gone back to the land of Israel, all right, and have set up permanent homes there. But as a whole, our people have not seen the land of Israel since we was taken out of there in 70 AD. All right, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for what? For bondmen and bondwomen. All right, and no man shall buy you, which means when you go into that word buy, it means redeem. Okay, so no man shall save you out of your condition. Okay, no man shall save you from this slavery. All right, just like when like if you get a coupon from a store or something, it says what? To redeem. Okay, to basically use that as a way to get something from that particular establishment or business, man. Okay, so you can redeem a code to get something. Right? So it's the same thing as saying here that no man shall buy you. Okay, no man shall redeem you, save you out of this condition. You see, this is what the scripture is saying, man. Now let's get some visuals on that. All right, slave ships. All right, see that? By way whereof I spake unto thee. All right, thou shalt go into Egypt again with ships, man. All right, now what were we in the land of Egypt? Slaves, bondmen and bondwomen. All right, bondmen and bondwomen, man. So in this new land, okay, Babylon the Great, in the various places that we've been scattered to, okay, we would be made slaves again in this new Egypt. Okay, this land is a new Egypt, man. And when you go into it, okay, this place has all the ancient practices of Egypt, okay, Babylon, Sodom and Gomorrah, okay, ancient Rome, all mixed into one, man. All right, and who took us captive? Who took us captive, man? Esau, the so-called white man. Look at that. You see? 1619 Jamestown, man. All right, but we've been here before that. All right, we was over here in slavery before that, man. All right, but hey, Esau, hey, and hey, Esau gonna have to pay for this, man. All right, Esau's gonna have to pay for this, man. And this is why these Edomites are trying to pass laws against, the truth coming out against them. All right, because yeah, Esau don't like to hear that he gonna have to pay for the crimes of his ancestors. Okay, they don't want to hear that. Okay, they don't want to hear that, but hey, the scriptures clearly tell you, man, that the sins of the father will be visited upon the children. All right, that you have to pay for the crimes of your ancestors, man, because you are your ancestors come back today. You see? So, hey, man, all the evil that you've done to the so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans, man, all right, you're gonna have to pay for that, Esau. Look at that. Esau was throwing Jake overboard, man. All right. So, hey, you Edomites, man, you're gonna have to pay for this. All right. You're gonna have to pay for the crimes and the sins of your ancestors, man. And hey, it ain't no way. It ain't no way around it. All right. So, hey, man, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end it off there. Hopefully, this lesson was edifying through the Rakah Kadash. Call Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakah Kadash. All right. And till next time, Lord willing, Shalom unto the elect.